All right, everybody, welcome. I don't think anybody's on yet, but it's the first Facebook Live video that I'm doing. I have an Emerson Ferguson as a guest. Hey, Tasha, how you doing? Just kind of getting started. Let me see what I gotta do here. Bye. Hey, what's up, Terry? Hey, Mom, how you doing? Fish, what's up? Just waiting for Emerson to get on here so I can add him. Does everything sound good? So anyway, while I'm waiting for Emerson to get on, let me just kind of start how this idea of doing these videos started. So I became friends with a guy. Here's Emerson right here. All right, I think I got him coming. Hey, Gabe, BJ. All right, so it's still showing it's inviting. Anyways, I was on the Common Sense show with Terry Little. It's a friend that I met through Facebook. It was kind of weird how that happened. But he had me on his show, and that was, what was it, last week? A few days ago? I lose track of time. Anyway, it went really good. I really liked it, enjoyed it. Had a lot of support. What's up, Juan? Rory, what's up? Yeah, it turned out good. Let me see here. All right, Terry, how do I invite him in? It's showing that it's inviting. Yeah, in here. What's up, Zach? Just trying to get Emerson on here. Anyways, Terry, how do I get Emerson on here? Does he need a comment? What's up, Jay? Pedro? Oh yeah, Emerson, make sure you're landscaped. I told him that. Or a comment or something, Emerson, showing that you see it. Anyways, yeah, so that show, it went really good. I had a lot of people ask me like, yeah, Zach, man up all the way. I try, man, I try. Yeah, a lot of people ask me if I was nervous or whatever. Do I see I don't even see his profile. I just see the comments right here. Oh, okay, now I see it. Okay, hold on. There's Emerson. Okay, there we go. Now it's showing inviting. Anyways, a lot of people asked me if I was nervous. Oh, there's Emerson. What's up, man?
Ah,
All right, got it.
give me 1 second here, real quick.
All right. Little kinks I had to work out, but we got them on. Anyways, so it was last week that I was on with Terry, and it went really good. I felt like we got a lot of information out of there, a lot of personality of myself out there, and I haven't put really a lot out there about personal things, whatever. A lot of people ask me like how I dealt with stuff, so got a lot of that out of there. All right, you ready, Emerson?
Let's do this.
All right, let me see. Let me get back to where I can see comments. So if you want to go ahead, Emerson, just kind of tell you a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I mean, there's a good chance a lot of people that know you know me. But I'm just really, in all honesty, I'm a regular guy on a journey. I'm in the middle of that same transformation that so many of us are on right now. And I had some things happen towards the end of 2015, and I had two choices, and I decided that it was either, well, I didn't decide, but I realized that it was either I was going to let the world and let life dictate how I was going to live, or I was going to take control of my life and decide how my life was going to be. I was going to be the one calling the shots, and I chose to call the shots. And so I started investing in myself. I started educating myself, and slowly but surely, man, it's like picture a chick, hatching out of an egg, and all of a sudden I was this new person. And it
Right.
took a minute to try to get used to it. It took a minute to get used to my new, persona and whatnot. But now it's just an everyday thing, and I live my life in a positive way. I mean, I literally live it in a positive way. I don't know any other way to live. And so my journey and my not just my journey, but I guess my the way that I live my life, the way that I see things is not I can't, but how can I? And
Right.
so that's basically how it is. I mean, people hit me up all the time, just like they're hitting you up, and people are inspired, and they talk to me a lot and say that my words are big for them, and other things like that. So I really like how that is. I really like how that works for me. So that's basically where I'm at. Um, I mean, I don't know if I can see other people's comments if I have this on landscape, but
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I can't see anybody's comments now. I could at first, and then all of a sudden, now it just shows like they're viewers. How do I get back to that? That part I gotta figure out. So
yeah, I
anyway,
might actually, Josh, I might actually, and that's just to make it easier for me to hear. I may put in some headphones
oh, okay.
just so I can make sure I can hear clearly. But
Do you
but
see any of
anyway,
the
yeah, man, go ahead.
Do you see any of the comments from people?
Um,
I can't see any of them. I'm trying to. I
I
was
see
hoping Terry.
something coming up, but I'm seeing comments, but I'm not seeing the whole thing. Oh yeah, no, I can see them.
Okay. Hey Terry, can you put on there how I can get on my iPhone right now? It shows like viewers.
I think you just got to scroll through them on your own, man. Because that's what I'm doing.
Oh,
I'm just doing it
I,
on
all
my
right, I
own
got it.
there.
All right, sorry guys. All right, let me get started on a little topic real quick. Kind of what I wanted to bring you on for, Emerson, is I know like I recently went through a divorce, and you were the one that I called a lot when things got tough, or how to deal with things, and I kind of came up with some questions or whatever. Some of the questions I brought to you, hopefully, it'll help maybe somebody in a similar situation, because
Yeah.
it's tough. So, all right, let me just start. The number one, because it's so big right now, is so I'll just ask these questions, and you give your take on it. I'll give my take on it. So
Yeah,
in
go
divorce,
for it.
how did you deal with like social media, like what to put out there, what not to put out there, that type of thing?
Um, I made a decision that and anyone that's either been in a serious relationship or divorce, anyone that's done that knows exactly the emotional roller coaster that you go through. So there's times when either you just got off the phone or some sort of conversation and you're just like, and like I said, man, you look like Kermit the Frog on the typewriter, you know what I'm saying? You're just like, damn, on your phone. Now, the difference between the people who know their direction and the people who are just kind of spiraling at that point and their emotions are the ones that are in control, those are the people whose emotions are in control press send. The rest of us may write it, read it, look at it, and be like, yeah, that's exactly what I feel. And then delete, 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 delete,
The
delete.
Belzer? Yeah.
And so what you got to do is when it comes to social media, it's nobody else's business. If you want somebody to talk to about what's going on, then you hit them up directly. And if you don't have their number directly, they're probably not someone you should be talking to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like if you were to be like, man, I am furious. I feel like I could just go and just whoop somebody or something like that, right? If you felt that way, then my suggestion would be give me a call, because you and I, we're close and we talked about this kind of stuff. You give me a call, tell me what's up, and I'll do the best that I can.
Right.
And I may not have the words, but maybe I have an ear just to listen. Maybe that's all you need is someone to listen to what you have to say. But then you also got to know that you got to choose the right people, to be in your circle. You want those people who are going to tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear.
Right.
So if you're wrong, you need one of those friends to be like, bro, you're wrong. You can't do that.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
so yeah, you need that. And then at the same time, man, I mean, like relationship status, when you start dating again and all that stuff, honestly, I would take it easy until you know that relationship is like really, really like one that you're going to be in for a while, or that you've been in for a while. Because, man, people are ruthless. Just like Terry is saying, social media is a beast. Like, that is no joke. It is. And so, most times, the people that I want to know what's going on in my life, I let them know. It's not something that I put out for the world to see, because the world doesn't need that. What the
Right.
world needs is, you know, the world needs some positivity, some good laughs, something like that. They don't need to hear my problems,
I
and
agree.
they don't need to see my status. So for me, that's how I handle that. For social media. Social media is not a place for your relationship. It just isn't.
Right on, man. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I know. We talked about this before when I was going through it, and it's true, man. What you say, like the people that really love you and care about you, they just want to know you're good and you're all right. So um, that's what I was putting out there. It's just like, man, I'm good. Everything's good. Um, may not have been 100%, but overall it's good, and that's just what they wanted to see. Um, and you're right, though, man. Just never feed into that. Like, how much I want to defend myself for things that were out there or whatever, but regardless, it's going to look like just a battle. Like, what is that from a
Yeah,
distance? People arguing, you can't
yeah.
tell
When people are attacking you, or if an ex is posting stuff or whatever, as much as you want to reply, as much as you're like, ooh, I got a good meme that I could put on you right now, as much as you want to do that, bro, you just don't. Like, I mean, maybe you send it to like one of your closest friends through a text message or something, and you'd be like, haha, look, you know, but that's as
Yeah,
far as it really goes, man. I mean, because otherwise, all you're doing is showing that you haven't changed. And if you're trying to change, then you're proving to yourself and everybody else that nah, you didn't. And so it,
yep,
it's one of those things where I mean, it's not even a question. If they
right,
want to come at you, if they want to attack you and all that stuff, let them. Absolutely let
yep,
them, and rise above it. Like you said, I mean, shoot, you got the sign, man up. You
yep,
man up right there and be like, you know what? This is a fight I'm walking away from, because the bigger picture is in a little bit I'm gonna be standing tall, and people are gonna be like, man, look at Josh, and they'll be
right.
like, oh, wow,
I know.
you
I
know,
know. With me, man, I just focused on just working, grinding it out. I know it was tough, man. You just want to react. You just want to throw something out there.
hmm
But I was really, really sterile with my environment. You know that. Um,
hmm
I only let in. There was a lot of stuff on social media I didn't even get on and check or anything like that. And like
yeah,
people would ask me in person like questions about it or whatever, and I didn't even get in those conversations. Like not even social media, I really didn't get in those conversations. But with the select few, I made a few
yeah,
mistakes. I remember right off the bat, I came up with my own advice. that's never good. But it was
no,
I told myself I need to hear everybody's opinion, and then I could pick the ones that I thought worked best. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not a good idea. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody told me their opinion, and most of them I didn't like. Most of them weren't based on what was going to be healthiest for me. Um, and you just got to have that person like you yourself that I reach out to when it's the time. Like it was so I was trying to make judgments on little steps. Like man, this
yeah.
happened. Like I want to do this, and you're just like, I mean, I know what you're gonna say, but hearing you say it makes it almost easier. It's like, nah, man, don't do it, don't do it,
Well,
don't hit.
I like what I like what Janice is saying right there. She says, bigger picture is you can control your life from the social media drones. That is absolutely true, and a lot of people are saying that social media is brutal and all that stuff. And you know what it is. And one of the craziest things that I did that I would suggest to everybody. is I went through, you know, during this whole time with this the transformation. Immediately I went through and I started looking at people who were on my friends list that I would see their feed, and I probably ended up eliminating about 200 to 300 people just because I got sick and tired of the negativity that they were posting. I got
Right.
sick and tired of the drama they were posting, and I got sick and tired of the of some of the material they were posting. And so what I did was I didn't necessarily like unfriend them. There was a few that I probably did, but I didn't like, for the most part, I didn't unfriend them. I just adjusted, like, or I just don't want to see their stuff in my news feed,
Right.
because I knew what I was putting out was something that they might need to see or might want to see, but it wasn't what I needed to see. And then the other thing is, I went and I found like motivational pages. I went and found you know, inspirational pages. I went and found, you know, people who are motivational speakers and stuff like that. And I clicked on a lot of those people. Steve Harvey is a great one. I went and found a
Right.
bunch of those types of people. Eric Thomas, you know, I mean, you name it, right? So I went and found these guys, and those are the people that show up on my feed. And then there's also other friends that show up on my feed. And I mean, I can tell if there's anybody that is my friend watching right now, if there's
Yeah.
anybody that's my friend, if you keep posting a bunch of negative stuff, that's a wrap, man. I'm not
Yeah.
looking to see that. And so my feed is normally just full of positive quotes, positive quotes, positive quotes, or, you know, the friends that have funny things to say, or it's, you know, sports related, something
Right.
like that. But if it's that, you know, you can control your social media, and a lot of people don't realize that. And so
Right.
that's a big part of social media and how you can, again, control your life. So
Right. All right, let's stop for a sec. I see Bowser said his screen's blank. Can everybody like give me a thumbs up or tell me everything looks good, everything sounds good? And then also if you have like questions or whatever, or this is whatever you guys want it to be. It's the first one ever, you know. We're just kind of here, just talking, man. You know,
yeah.
neither one of us are like experts. We just kind of been through it. Did you say sports? What's
Yeah,
up,
Bubba,
Bubba?
I did say sports.
Yeah, Lorena, hey, Lorena, how you doing? Yeah,
Oh,
so
that guy.
share or add people in. All right, my mom said it looks good. She's always there. First one, bang. Gotta love my mom. um, all right, good. All right, so we kind of touched on that a little bit. So far we're kind of talking about just things, ways we dealt with you know, leaving a relationship. Both me and Emerson were in long-term relationships, and you know, for one reason or another, it didn't work out, and we had to deal with like how to like rebuild yourself, you know, or how to when you get that carpet slipped out from under you, you know, or you make a big change like me. Um, and with me, it was my whole entire life, like my whole entire life. What's up, Manny? Um, got switched up, you know that. I changed a lot of things. I changed my health. You know, I started focusing on my health, and to be honest, man, I just basically started focusing on myself. Um, I was only allowing things in that were going to be positive to me, and it was a learning experience. Some things came in, man, I thought they were going to be positive, and they didn't work out, and I kind of would get upset. And then I started learning along the way, like it's not that hard. You know, the path that you're supposed to go, or the people that you're supposed to talk to shouldn't be that hard to talk to. You know, you shouldn't be getting off a conversation with somebody that you need to be talking to, feeling like, did they really listen to me, or did they, you know, pay attention to what I was saying, or any of that. Um, those people you just know, you know, like me and you, when we get on the talk or get on the phone or whatever, like, I don't even know, hour and a half, we usually have to cut it short.
Yeah.
William, yep. Moving forward, yeah. I talked to William a little bit about it. Matt, what's up, Matt?
Okay.
So yeah,
I'm
we
gonna
kind
hit
of,
them. I'm gonna hit on both of those real quick, or not real quick, but go. You go ahead and finish, and then I'll hit on those.
yeah, that's really all
Matt
I,
and Willie.
you know, is basically that. Just kind of sterilizing your environment, and just, you know, there's certain times when it's really tough, like at work, for instance. You know what? Everybody talks about their relationships at work. You know, my wife this, my wife made this, da, da. Then all of a sudden it's like, do you just go tell everybody, or, you know, do you just carry on as normal? And my advice would be just focus on yourself. You know, there's no reason to go announce it. You know, you just live in. Um, But little conversations will come up. Somebody will be like, "Oh, your wife this or that," and you're like, "Oh, we split up." And they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that." And my response was always like, "Don't be sorry. Like, it was good for me, you know." So anyway, that's all I had. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, it's tough because there's no matter what, there's always going to be emotions connected to that, and so a lot of times you try, even if you don't want to be, you wanna do your best to overcome any of those negative emotions. Um, and a lot of times it's sad, but people are looking for that. That's what they want. And it's none of their business. You can't give it to them. And even if you are an erupting volcano inside, man, on the outside, you just need to look like, well, now Mount St. Helens, you know what I'm saying? Just a beautiful mountain just standing there. They're like, oh, cool, he's doing great. Meanwhile, you walk away and that lava is just flowing inside. So that's how you handle that. And I mean, like you said, you hit it right on the button. But so Matt, you said that you're trying to motivate yourself to go exercising. Okay, well, the bottom line is you don't want it enough. And I'm just being straight up with you. If you're having trouble motivating yourself to exercise more, then you don't want it enough. And that's just what it is. One day you're going to wake up, or one day you're going to be sitting down or something, and you're just going to be like, you know what? I'm done. That's it. Here it goes. We're starting right now. And once you start, you don't stop. You just got to keep going. And so you just push, 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 push. And even if all you can do is like 5 push-ups to start off with, all right, then just do 5 push-ups. Do some squats. Do whatever you can. There is so much information on the internet. There are so many people that know different things. You just gotta want it. And the day that you decide you really, really want it,
I am a
then
maniac.
that's when it'll happen.
Yeah,
Um,
let me
so
touch on this
next,
for a
oh
sec because of
yeah, go ahead.
that was part of my growth as well. I know, I hear you, Matt. It is tough, man. So Jose, it's tough starting off, because you're not gonna go walking one day and lose 5 pounds and see it like right away. Like it's not instant gratification. Um, it's so here. I'm not an expert. All I can do is tell you how I felt, what I went through. Is I know that I made a firm decision one day. It was in the summer, last summer. I made a firm decision that I wasn't going to do it no more. Like I wasn't going to lose a little bit of weight. So I felt a little comfortable in the summer, and then in the winter, just kind of whatever. And then back and forth, back and forth. I told myself, I'm just going to start and I'm not going to stop. I'm going to start walking. I'm going to start trying to eat a little healthier. And I'm just not going to stop. And if the results don't come, they don't come. When they come, they come. That's not the point, And so what I did was I used the walking. I got like podcasts or music or whatever, and I would use that as kind of like a little therapy, walking, And before you knew it, you'd walked a couple miles or whatever. And then after that, man, as you start, feeling yourself, feeling a little bit better or looking a little bit better, it just starts motivating you more and more and more. Definitely music was like huge for me. APV, Brian Augustine, his album, I listen to it every single day. It was inspiring, man, just talking about valuing yourself. And that's basically it. I mean, I get what you're saying, Emerson, that you just don't want it enough. It's hard to hear, man. Trust me, it's hard to hear.
Yeah.
You're saying that, I was thinking if I had heard that from you then, I might have been a little butthurt. Matt might be a little butthurt. But you know what, man? It's all right because, sometimes people are going to tell you things that are true that you're not going to want to hear that, and you're going to want to hear like, oh, well, just do this or do that, or take this or take that, and you're going to be good. No, man, it's a complete switch. It's a complete switch of mindset. I haven't really watched TV since like January. Like I don't sit down very often because I know people think I'm weird, man. I know what sitting down Netflixing and chill gets you. Besides, some people got them pregnant. But besides that, like I know what it gets me. I did that for a lot of years. I sat, and in a relationship, man, you get comfortable, and you what do you want to do today? I don't know. Let's go eat. And you eat and you eat and you get comfortable. You stop really like, at least for me, I stopped really like caring about how I looked because I felt like I was being selfish and I felt like I wasn't thinking about the relationship and thinking about us. I was thinking about myself if I was that way. So little by little, it kind of fall off. But honestly, man, you just gotta take it back. I mean, you just gotta like tell yourself, you know, you're not gonna see results, and that's okay. You know, you're not gonna see results maybe in a month. It took me. I started like a year ago. It took me probably, wow, I would say like in November, December, kind of. So it was like maybe 6 months in. I was kind of feeling like, I mean, weight wise, yeah, I was losing it, but nobody was really noticing. And it wasn't until February, March, man, that I got like new size clothes and all that, that people were just starting to be like, wow. And to hit on that, man, like the other struggle I dealt with was people saying like how great you look. You know, it's like that self gratification thing. People say like, man, you look amazing, and I'd always think in my head like, you're just saying that because you knew I was big. You know, if you just met me, you'd just be like, oh, you're all right. Like, you got a little work to do. You know, you got a little tummy right here. You got a little work to do. So I feel like I see that a lot, man. I see people, people tell me like, hey, man, I lost 15 pounds. I'm like, oh, right on, man. Cool. You get that little jolt, you know, whatever it is, serotonin, whatever it is. It makes you feel good. And you're like, yeah, I'm done, you know? And you got to like talk yourself out of that, man. You got to know what your path is, and you got to want to do it. Yeah.
Okay. So William hit on moving on.
Steve was like, I'm always seen as weird. You are weird, Steve. But you're cool, man. Hey, Rose.
So William, you hit on you had asked, you know, about moving on after a long-term relationship or after a relationship, and you know what, man, that's one of the hardest things any of us will do, no matter how strong we are. And this is it's amazing. I had one of my best friends gave me this advice, and I have passed it on every time I can. So I'm glad to do it again. All you do is you wake up each day, become better than you were yesterday, put one foot in front of the other. Mm-hmm. And that's all you can do, because there's going to be days, I still have days where I wake up and I'm just like, man, like, this isn't what I wanted. You know what I mean? In terms of relationship wise and stuff. And, you know, you get used to for a decade having the same person, you know, wake up in your bed and now there's nobody. Those are the kind of things that are hard to get used to. And it just takes time. It really does. And so there's that. And then at the same time, when it comes to a relationship ending, you have to remember that door just shut. Okay, that door just shut right in front of you. But then the good thing is you're in a round room basically. And one door just shut. But if you spin around, you're going to notice, hey, wait a minute, that door wasn't open before and now it is. And that door wasn't open and now it is. So when that opportunity is gone, or when that situation is gone, that just makes room for new situations. And so that's one of the big things that you want to do. And then, you know, Matt, you kind of hit on depression. Bro, we all are dealing with depression in one way or another each and every day. I mean, you never know. Just because you see somebody with a smile on their face, you have no idea the elephant on their shoulders or the weight on their shoulders that they're dealing with. But the number one thing that I tell everybody and that I do myself is I smile through it. I smile through it. Yep. And, you know, Kevin, I see you're saying it's not just about wanting it, it's about the determination and planning. You have to want to be determined. You have to want to plan. I mean, the want is your why. And when your why, when you find your why, then nothing else will matter. The how doesn't matter. Right. When you find your why, the how doesn't matter.
My whole purpose was my whole purpose was that was my purpose. So basically, I like uprooted and shit, and then it's like refinding your purpose. With me, it was always man up. That movement, man, helped me through it a lot. Getting a lot of people that are motivated or whatever, that helped me.
Yeah, thanks, Pete.
But I mean, I think every day getting up, you got to have a purpose. Like I seen a thing once that was like to have a successful day or whatever, you got to get up and like you got to want to strive to be like somebody or better than somebody, type of thing. And you got to have a purpose.
I think that might have been Matthew McConaughey, man. He said you need somebody to chase, and what he's always chased is himself in 10 years. That's a great speech.
Wow.
Absolutely great speech. And he said, so in 10 years, they'll be like, well, who are you chasing now? I'm chasing myself in 10 years. And you keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Um, you know, Willette hit on, since both of us were in long-term relationships, um, would we do anything different moving forward? I can say for me personally, yeah, I won't settle. That's probably my biggest thing. I won't be like, oh, well, that's probably okay. No, man, if
Right.
there's a red flag, that's it. I can't do it because I'm not looking for today. I'm looking for my forever, to be honest,
Right.
because, I mean, I'm not 19. I'm not 22, so it's not like, I mean, no, time's not necessarily running short, but I just, I know what it is that I'm going to want. And if it's not there, it's just not there. And so am I going to do things different, or am I doing things different? Absolutely, I'm doing things different. And I'm also the number one thing is I'm a whole lot slower in the way that I'm doing things. I
I
just
kind of
I
you're
cannot
sorry, man.
rush.
You're kind of like me in a year or whatever, because yours is a little bit before mine. So I'm kind of just starting to go through that now. Um, like divorce finalized, all that stuff's done. Um, and I know for me naturally, I thought like, all right, who's next, or like who's my next relationship, or what's the next relationship, or what's the next step in that
Right.
aspect, and we talked about that a lot as well. And
Hmm.
honestly, the next relationship you need to have is that relationship with yourself. You need to figure out, and that's what I'm dealing with. And just kind of to go back a little bit when you were talking about depression, and all that. Like, people see me smiling all the time, man. But I got
Hmm.
bad days too. I got bad moments too. But it's not
Yeah.
about that. It's an overplayed term, but it's so true. It's like, it's not what happens to you. It's how you react to it. And that's my life wrapped together right there. Like, things happen just like anybody else. Things happen to me. I could react to it and say something and do something. Um, Most of the time, I don't react at all. Sometimes I just react just to certain people. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think we talked about that a lot. And patience, definitely. uh, it's really, really tough. It's really tough because you're by yourself. You know, for me, I ain't got kids like that. I got stepkids and I got grandkids, but nobody running around the house keeping you occupied or whatever. I don't even have a dog, or I think I got a plant. Yeah, I got a plant. I need to water that, but I don't have that, man. So like, when you're talking to somebody on the phone or you're in a conversation or whatever, and they're like, all right, I gotta go, da, da, da. You hang up, they're making dinner for their family, or they got stuff going on, and you're just kind of like, it's just you. So
Yeah.
it's basically using that time. What I found is using that time to have that relationship with yourself, to hit the gym or go on hikes. I did a lot of like sunset runs, things like that. Um, when I could feel it coming on, I could feel it coming on, like lonely or being whatever. And so those are the times I would hit that. All right, I got this question paused from Dave that I wanted to hit on. He put, I feel like I let myself, uh, I let myself blame all the issues on my weight. Have you found after losing it all that sometimes didn't change that you thought would? Um, Honestly, let me see. No, man. I think it's better than I thought it was going to be. Um, like I always thought, I honestly, I would look at pictures of myself like way back when I was younger, and I would think like that used to be me. I would even show people, like, just to kind of show like, hey man, I wasn't always like that. That used to be me. And I had a really close friend tell me like, it's not that used to be you, like that is you. And so I don't know, man. It's you get a little self confidence, and I think I think all things kind of get better. It's kind of an overall growth. It's not just weight loss, like it's not just losing weight. It's, I mean, because you can lose weight by doing all kinds. Crackheads lose weight. That don't mean it's healthy for you. It's just overall like health, man, mind, body, and soul type thing. Like I always thought I had my soul. My soul's pretty healthy. Like I would read a lot, and and kind of be open-minded to everybody and all that. But, you know, when you would go to bed or when I would get up in the morning, like I was having to deal with what I had done, you know, like where I was at physically. And it definitely doesn't start the day off on a positive note. Oh, look, Joey's like, hey, neighbor.
What's up, Joey?
What's up, Stone?
Thanks for taking my garbage down. That's a cool dude right there, man. I like having Joey and Priscilla next door, bro, for real.
Too bad you couldn't do, Terry was saying, too bad he couldn't be on here. You're the pro, man. Let us know next time you'll do it.
So Josh, you know, it's kind of funny. I saw there's two people that kind of posted the same thing, and I really like it. I was gonna kind of add a little bit to it, but what they were saying was, you know, once you know your value, you don't settle for anything less. And I kind of say it a little bit different, but it's the same basics. And the way I see it is, I don't in any way accept someone who's not on my level. And what I mean by that, when it comes to a relationship, you know, moving forward now that I'm, you know, that I've gone through this journey, or that I'm on this journey, I don't accept anybody that's not on my level. And what I mean by that is, listen, man, I mean, we can't be taking a journey together and not be on the same road. And so if my value is I bring this and this and this and this and this to the table, you know, we got to be able to make that work together. And if we don't, then hey, all right, you know, we can be friends, but I just don't see how we can move forward, you know. Right. And if there's things that were issues in, like, say, one of my previous relationships, if there were things that were, you know, issues in my previous relationships, but then now, you know, as I'm dating somebody or something, I see one of those red flags, I can't do it, man, because I just went through that.
I know for me,
you know?
I definitely, I can't really give advice on meeting somebody or like how to do new relationship, because I haven't been in that yet. I'm learning it. But I do know the one thing that I'm pretty firm on is not dragging that baggage. What is it? Oh, it's Priscilla.
It's Priscilla.
Yeah. But honestly, man, like the number one thing that I have in my head is like I'm not dragging that baggage with me. You know, like I'm not gonna bring it to the next relationship. But that's not only just like romantic relationships; it's just personal relationships in general. You know, I get told a lot, like, look, there's Charlie Baltimore. We all know it's Yayla and Nick. We just don't know which one. You know, I get it a lot, man. Like you're too nice. People tell me a lot, like, you're too nice. And that's so confusing for me. It's confusing, man, because I'm like, I like being nice. I like being happy. Like I try to be the other way, and it doesn't work out. And my sister actually hit me with it. She was like, you know what? She was like, that's you. That's you, how you are to me. That's you, how you are to mom. That's who you are to everybody. She's like, you just need to pay attention and catch it a little more quickly. She's like, but that's your guide, you know? When people take advantage of that or maybe treat you a certain way because you are too nice, just check them, you know? And
yeah.
People that really are supposed to vibe with you or whatever, those people, you know, I've met the most amazing people that I wouldn't have met if I wasn't the person I was, you know? So, yeah, I just look at it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I've had people, you know, I've had people that were like, are you really like this, Emerson? Are you really always positive? Are you, and is this really who you are? I don't feel like it is, and stuff like that. And I'll be like, you know, it was an effort at first. When I was in the middle of changing, it was an effort. I had to try to figure out how to be like that all the time. And then it just became who I was. It's no different than picking up a good or a bad habit, you know? And once you start focusing on that perspective and how you see life, once you wake up and you smile and you go, yeah, it's another chance for me to make a difference in one way or another, no matter what it is. Once you get into the habit of that, I wake up happy. I don't care if it's Monday, Tuesday. I don't care what day it is. I know that I get.
If you have me on
you know
Snapchat, you know I wake up happy.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even if you're tired, you know, because like the last 2 weeks, you know, yeah, exactly, Terry. You probably got one of them kid beds that's a Bugatti though. But But for real though, you know, I mean, when I wake up, man, I wake up happy. I mean, I was going to bed at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning this whole last week and a half or whatever, planning that whole trip for my girls. And then when we were actually on the trip, I was going to bed late, like real late, and I was up real early. But you know what? I was happy. I was happy
Yeah.
because the biggest thing for me was happening at that moment. You know, I have a vision board and I write down my goals, which Matt, that's another one, man. Get some pictures of some things you want to accomplish. Get like if there's a weight you want to accomplish, put the number, write the number in big old letters, big bold letters, put the amount of pounds that you want to be or whatever, and then put that on your vision board, you know. Um, I have a video on that. I believe it's on YouTube under my name, Emerson Ferguson Jr., and look it up for the vision board. But I'm telling you, man, this is important because I got the opportunity to live out one of my goals that I had put there a year ago, which was taking my 2 daughters, to Disneyland, and we just got back from that last week.
Man.
And I'm telling you, man, the greatest feeling in the world is the fact that that I could cross that off, and now I get to look and see, all right, what's next? That's where that want it comes from. That's where that motivation and all that stuff is. So if you set yourself a goal, all right, first thing I want to do is lose 10 pounds. Bam, lose that 10 pounds, then cross that bad boy off. Then set your next goal. Now you
Yep.
can visually see this every day. Put it in your bathroom, put it wherever, put it on the mirror in the bathroom, wherever it is that you're going to see it every day. You do it, man. And I'm telling you, man, it's going to be amazing. It's
I
going to be
know.
absolutely amazing. So,
I know what I did was I had a gold T-shirt. You know, woo! Nobody wanted to see a picture of me in that gold T-shirt to start. It was like a tube top, super tight. You can see my heartbeat and all that. And but my goal wasn't like a weight. Like I didn't have a weight. You know, I knew it was heavy, and I knew I needed to be lighter. But it wasn't about that. It was like how I felt and how I felt like just in clothes or whatever. So that's what I used. But man, goal setting is so huge, man. Like I even
yep.
now I know when I'm not focused, it's because I don't have goals to go after, man. Like I just did them today. I just redid them today. You know, I looked at some goals that I put just in my notes on my iPhone or whatever, and I look at them like every Monday morning, and to see like you know those short term goals, you know, and then I ran across like a long term goal when I had, and I was like, some of those goals had changed, you know, and it's okay. It's okay to modify them. You know, if it ain't working for you, it didn't work. You're the manager. You're the whatever of your life. You know, you're the constructor of all that. So, you know,
Yeah.
you're keeping
Well,
those
the
goals
whole thing is
practically. So it's like, now what's that?
yeah. I mean, well, I was just to say, it's your story, and you
Yeah.
might as well be the author. You know what I'm saying? It's your
Mm-hmm.
story. You might as well be the author. Don't let somebody else write your own book. So,
Right.
this right here, you know, and I know it looks backwards on there, but it's called The Magic of Thinking Big. The author is David Schwartz. You can find this at the library. You can find this Amazon, whatever. The Magic of Thinking Big. This will help you. This is what helped me when it came to my goals. So,
So Stone just hit on something real quick that he was saying like I don't know what he was talking about. I'm just gonna assume he was talking about me, but he was like, "Your happiness is contagious." So I had a day. Let me tell you a little story about Emerson. So I had a day one day. I was in my little tiny house, and I was having a bad day, man. Like I was doing man up stuff, and I was sitting there, and I'm thinking like. I was telling myself like, why am I worrying about this? Why am I doing? You remember that day? I was like, why am I
yeah,
doing this? Why me? Like, why do I spend so much time, so much effort towards something that's not going to get me rich in money? You know, it was a goal I had. It was a huge vision I had, and it was like, but it's not like I'm still struggling paycheck to paycheck and all that, and I'm putting in all this work. It's not paying off, and I don't know why, man. Call it whatever you want to call it, all right? But I got a Snapchat, then I got another Snapchat. Another Snapchat, and it was Emerson, and he hit me with like probably 20 videos, man, and he was just like telling me that, you know, he was like, I don't know where you're at right now, how you're feeling or whatever. He's like, but I just want you to know, man, like people are following you, people see what you're doing, it's contagious. You know, it's you, man, it's your story. You know, keep it up, man. And when I heard that, it was just like, I don't know, man, it just hit me like. I felt like I'm the only one that can do it this way, you know. That's why I'm doing it like this, you know. for whatever reason, like my personality and whatever is that this is what I'm supposed to do. It's like a calling, you know, and it feels right when things are going with it. So yeah, but no, you're right, Stone, man. It's contagious. You know, even me, like I see other people. I seen an old guy in Walmart the other day. He was like 87. Actually, he was 83. I ended up talking to him, but he was just cheesy as hell, man. Like he was in the produce aisle just smiling, and I looked at him and I'm smiling, and I was like, I got to meet this guy. So I went over or whatever, and I'm like, hey, how you doing, man? We just got to talking, you know, and he had the same outlook we're talking about, you know. He wasn't in the best physical shape. You know, his health is deteriorating. He had medical problems, I'm sure. But did he tell me about them? No, I don't know any of that, you know. All he told me was like every reason why he had that cheesy grin on his face. And there was no difference in him than me. He was saying all the same reasons I say, you know. Like my early morning Snapchat videos, people tell me sometimes like, man, you're wilding out in the morning. Like, what is your problem? And look, you know what my number one thing, let me put a little secret. My number one thing is I watch those later in the day. You know, like at lunchtime, I watch those. And I'm like, it's like a whole different person. I'm like, you know, I've been genied up half the day, man. I ain't feeling that positive no more. And I see that video, man. I'm like, this fool, what the hell? And I just laugh, like at my own ridiculousness sometimes. But yeah, no, that's true, Stone. That's for sure. I agree with that. It is contagious.
Yeah, I've had people say that, you know, the same thing. They're like, man, you know, when you're not around, it's different. You know, you hear that saying all the time where people say, stuff like, you want to make sure that when you leave a room, that it's not, you know, that you don't brighten a room when you leave it. You want to brighten that room when you show up and when you walk in. And that's one of the big things that I've tried to do.
I think I've heard that. I've heard make an entrance, but I'm curious on that. Go ahead. What is it?
Well, I'm trying to look here and see what Kevin said. He said
the magic of thinking big. Gabe hit me with some good ones. Where's Gabe Adami at? I thought Gabe Adami got on here and he hasn't said anything. He hasn't bashed either one of us. I'm kind of surprised. Hey, Trish. Like I've heard, you know, walk in and make an entrance and feel good about yourself, but I haven't really heard what you're saying. I challenge you both to a push-up contest, raise money for sex slavery. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Hey, so Kevin, if you can kind of elaborate what you're talking about there, then I'll be happy to address that if I can.
All right, so I know. Yeah, so I got another couple questions on here that one as far as just like relationships and all that. Out of everything, Emerson, out of everything where you're at this point, you know, just hit on one. What's one big thing you think you learned out of all of that?
That I should have never changed myself. I sacrificed a lot of who I really was and a lot of who I am again, but a lot of who I was. I sacrificed a lot for what I thought. Raina, I sacrificed a whole lot, and honestly, way too much for what I thought was, you know, my forever relationship and for the family. And what I realized was by doing that, that shifted the entire balance of the entire relationship. And it's kind of funny that Raina's on here because she was one person who we would have talks all the time because I was her lead out there at work. And so we talked all the time. And one thing I always noticed was Raina was like, no, this is me. And that's it. Like, this is who I am. Accept it or don't, but I'm not changing for you. I'm not changing for you. And she had kind of a theme song. I'm not really going to, you know, repeat it, but it's from Big Sean. It's from Big Sean. And there's a part in that movie, you know, School Fight or whatever it's called, you know. So anyway, that was one of the big things that I noticed. And that was a lesson that I learned. So for me, I am not going to change who I am. I love who I am. And I didn't realize how much I loved who I am until I realized how much I wasn't who I am anymore. And now,
Right.
now that I'm back, man, like I'm not even the same person I was yesterday. I'm better than I was yesterday. And
Hmm.
in even the smallest way. And so I love who I am each and every day. That's another reason why I wake up with a big old smile on my face, because I know that I have the opportunity. Yeah, that's the one, Terry.
That's
But
my
I know that I
thought.
have the opportunity to be better. I know I have the
Hey,
opportunity to step up and be like,
that's
bam, you know what I mean?
that's making divorcees happy all over the planet, man.
Oh, bro, you don't even, man. I mean, yeah. So yeah, we'll talk later. But but yeah, that's the biggest thing is I cannot, will not, and will never ever again sacrifice who I am or change who I am for anybody. I can't. I owe
Right.
it to myself, and I sure as hell owe it to my beautiful little princesses to be who I truly am, because only who I am now, because of who I am now and the way that I am now, the best thing in the world is to see and hear my girls have that champion mindset, that champion heart, that champion thought process and work ethic. It is, man, I mean, it almost brings tears to my eyes when I see it happen, when I hear it happen, or when, like right now, it makes me emotional thinking about it,
Right.
because I know that me being who I am, who I truly am, they're emulating that. And if I am striving to be a champion, if I'm striving to change my stars, if I'm striving to reach out and change my stars, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
They're going to think the same thing. They're not going to say I can't. They're going to say how can I? And so I cannot, not just for myself, but for my girls, change who I am. So that's the answer for that.
Yeah. That's a good one, man. That your answer is like that. That's me. Like I changed completely who I was. I was a completely different person, and I knew something wasn't right. And once things started coming back around, that's when I realized that. So that's obviously something that I deal with daily, and that I know I'll
Hmm.
deal with in the future, especially if it comes to like new relationships or whatever. Is making sure you don't fall back into that. And I think it is about that value in yourself. Like I heard some advice recently that I've been kind of thinking on. Is somebody was like, man, you're on a track, you're on a mission, you have goals that you want to accomplish and all that. And finding somebody shouldn't change that. It shouldn't change that path you're on or whatever just because you're in a relationship. If anything, you each should like advance each other, and not drag each other back. So my answer
Yeah.
on what I learned most was that just basically like every day is not going to be okay. Every situation is not going to be good. Um, Everything's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. Um, what I learned, I think overall, is it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Because I thought about it, and I thought about it previous to this many times, and I thought it was going to be a lot harder. I thought it was going to be more of a struggle, and I got to credit my mom and everybody that helped me out or whatever, that was there when I needed help. But those people in your life are like that padding that help you from hitting rock bottom. I always say, and yeah, man, it was just it's once you start valuing yourself and once you start doing things in a direction that's more healthy for you, it's not a struggle. It's not a struggle to do that. Like it's tough. Like it's tough grinding out. Trying to get your goals accomplished and all that. That part's tough. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it's not as tough as being in a bad relationship. That's tough. When you
Yeah.
got goals and you want to do something and I'll just leave it at that. You're in that situation, that's tough. When you're super overweight, don't feel good about yourself, all that's tough. The walking, the trying to eat right, the focusing on that thing, that stuff's way easier than dealing with that. It's way
Hmm.
on an emotional level, that stuff's really tough, so yeah, I think that's the main thing I learned, man, is through all that is that, and I try to remember that now that, if something happens, it's not perfect. It's all right. You know, not every day is
Yeah.
going to be perfect. Not every moment's going to be perfect. You might have something bad happen or whatever, and it might affect your whole day. You might have let it affect your whole day, but that's all right. The next day you wake up, You know, it's a whole new day. Try to be a little bit better. Like you said, that's my goal right now. My motto is just being a little bit better than you were the day before. That's progress, man. You know, it's not huge. It's not one of those things you can post 2 pictures together like before and after. You know, you're just a little bit. It's just a little bit. You're a little bit. It's all those little bits, man, that over time you'll be able to do that. So,
Yeah. So real quick, so you know, you had you mentioned earlier, you know, that basically you're like about a year behind where I'm at,
yeah.
in terms of some of the personal growth and whatnot. And so it's kind of funny that you talk about, you know, hey, if you have a bad day, you know, you go to sleep, or you do your best to solve whatever you can. You go to sleep and then you wake up the next day and all that other stuff. Um,
See you
the
later,
way
Terry.
that I see it now, all right, thanks, Terry. The way that I see it now, it's totally different. I don't see it as like I can't have a bad day and I won't have a bad day because there's 24 hours in a day. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sleeping a lot of the time, you know, or you know, about 5, 6 hours a day. That's the average for me. But here's how it
Yeah.
works. The way I see it is if I have something happen, then I immediately tell
Hey.
myself, all right, this is a bad moment in my day. And this is exactly what I told my class, my 5th grade classes last year. Listen, don't have a bad day. You have a bad moment. Have a bad
Hey.
moment and be like, all right, I had a bad moment, but I'm not going to let it ruin the rest of my day. And you take that day and you set it on fire. You know what I'm saying? And you just run with it and you be like, you know what? You're not going to ruin my day. You won the moment, but you did not win the day. And so that's how
Oh, hey,
I have evolved to see my
something that
days.
popped up. I had something that popped up here. I think these only allow you to do an hour, and we're at 56 minutes, so I think it's going to shut off here in about 4 minutes. Um,
Oh, okay.
so if you want to do like a little minute thing or whatever, and then leave me maybe a minute,
Yeah,
go ahead.
all right, so I'll do that real quick. So basically, here's my thing. It's kind of like Josh said. Um, we do this all the time where we're talking about this and stuff. People hit us up, Messenger and all that other stuff, Snapchat. So do not hesitate. If you guys really want, you know, sometimes just an ear or maybe some advice, or maybe you just want to see something positive, hit us up because we're both here for anybody. You know, I mean,
Yep.
it's part of our growth as well. And so know that there's people out here like that. And if anybody is interested in anything, man, I whatever I can do to help, I got you. You know, my name, that's how you'll find me on Facebook. Just let me know on,
Yeah.
you know, and then I can give you all the information for Snapchat and all that other stuff. But the number one thing is, like we talked about, be better than you were yesterday. Figure out who you are, find your why, and then take action. Because goals and dreams are just thoughts until you take action. And that's it. Just action.
Yep. All right, so we got 2 minutes. I probably won't need that. I just want to thanks Emerson for coming on here. When I thought about doing
Yeah.
this, I thought about doing the first one by myself. I was like, no, okay, I already know I would just sit here and laugh and be silly or whatever. What's up, Caesar? Um, but yeah, thanks, man. You know, I thought about it, and just naturally you popped up because I talk to you a lot and we vibe a lot. Look, an hour flew by, man. It didn't even feel like an hour.
No,
So
it
let me
didn't.
know what you guys think. If it helps you or whatever, let us know. You know, that's going to be inspiring to us. Hey, Lucy. Um, and like Emerson said, you know, I don't know everything. I probably know very little about certain things, you know, but I've been through some things. Um, and if you have any questions on anything or whatever, you can always message me, or if you're not my Facebook friend, I'm accepting all requests now. That's kind of dangerous to say, but it's true. Um, so yeah, it's ending right now, but thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm going to try to do these every Thursday, either 6 or 7 o'clock. And so if you guys have ideas on shows or somebody to have on, um, for sure, check out Emerson stuff. He's definitely the same the last time he's going to be on, and I'm sure he has his own show he's probably already thinking about right now, and I'll be on his. But
Yeah.
yep,
Oh, I am.
like Emerson said, you know, smile through it. No matter what happens, just try to smile. Like that, fake it till you make it. You know, you walk around smiling, and
Yep.
it's contagious. Somebody's gonna smile back at you, and you're gonna feel good. So yeah. All right. With that, we're gonna end it. Everybody have a great day. Thanks, Emerson, for coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Man,